Let's go! What is going on, guys? Welcome to Sixers Post-Game Live. Today we are reacting to James Harden's Sixers debut. The Sixers get the W here, 133-102. There is so much to talk about in this game. So many positives in this game. Guys, if you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe button. Let's bring in our co-host. He is my man, Tiago. What's good, Tiago?
What's going on, man? How's everything? It's
pretty good, man. It's doing pretty good. It's Friday. Yeah. I mean, we're really hyped about Willie Cauley-Stein's Sixer debut, right? That's what we're here for, right?
I mean, I was hoping to watch a little bit of Paul Millsap tonight, so I'm glad that that we got to watch a little bit. I don't know what was going on, to be honest with you. I think there was a different player on the court tonight. I think you guys all know what that player is, and he looked phenomenal, man. It was a absolutely effortless 27 points, 13 assists. I think he finished tonight. Hyper impressive. There's no other words to describe his performance tonight. I think there's gonna be a lot to unpack for sure. A lot to unpack tonight with this performance.
You guys, it's one game, but we're gonna overreact and we're gonna go overboard with this game because this was fun, Tiago. This was a lot of fun tonight. It's amazing to see the impact James Harden makes, not only for Joel Embiid rolling to the basket, but for Tyrese freaking Maxey, man. There were some plays in this game that my jaw was dropped. Especially the one play where James Harden found Tyrese Maxey in the corner, whipped the pass to Tyrese Maxey. Yeah, Tyrese Maxey hits the Jets and gets a wide open, easy layup at the rim, man. We have a point guard. A point guard is in Philadelphia. We have a ball handler. What was your grade and take on James Harden tonight?
Well, first of all, my big take on James Harden is how you notice the pace of the offense change. There was a beat to it. There was a definitive decision-making aspect of the offense that you literally didn't have when guys like Tobias Harris are pounding away at the ball with a 24-second shot clock. I mean, the thing you brought out specifically around Maxey out in transition, that is something that you really get with James Harden on the court. First and foremost, because he's a rebounder, right? So he's able to rebound and connect your defense to your offense. And a guy like Maxey, who can just literally outrun the entire defense, had multiple transition opportunities as a result of a Harden rebound and push. So, the pace aspect of it, I thought was something that stood out right away, is the fact that you kind of notice the IQ level that Harden brings to your offense gets amplified at a much higher level. And the second thing I thought was Tobias Harris. So you could clearly tell that, the Tobias Harris isolation post-up stuff is not part of the Sixers' appetite with Harden on the court. And I thought that for the most part, with the exception of few possessions, Harris did a tremendous job making quick decisions off the catch, not sitting on the ball too much. He didn't shoot the ball particularly well, but if you were to pull up Tobias's shot chart, I was looking at it before the podcast. It's different. You won't see the mid-range stuff there tonight.
Catching to Tobias Harris, right?
Exactly.
That's what we're getting here, and that's what we were a little concerned about. What will Tobias Harris kind of take that third, fourth offensive role on this team? And it really happened. The big three really shined here. Wait, before we get into the real big three of the Philadelphia 76ers team, James Harden, man, what a terrific performance here. He finished the night with 27 points. He was a plus 35, 12 assists, 5 of 7 from three-point range. The national sports channels are going to be really pissed off when they look at this box score because, the fit was immense. The fit is so good.
Yep.
Anybody watching that game and you see, Joel Embiid, he kind of was rushing a little bit. He still needs to work on rolling to the basket. There were times where Joel Embiid had the ball literally in his hands 3 or 4 times, at least tonight. And Joel Embiid had no idea what to do with it. He has never seen this many easy looks in a basketball game ever. And if this is like the appetizer, if this is the starting point, holy shit, Thiago. There's a lot to like about in this game. And then you go to the big three. The big three had 89 points. And I'm talking about Tyrese freaking Maxey. I love what I see here. 18 shot attempts from Joel Embiid. You had 16 shot attempts from Tyrese Maxey. You had James Harden with 12 attempts. That's going to go up, absolutely. But that's what we've been talking about on these shows for so long. For so long. I'm so happy to see Tobias Harris kind of be in that glorified catch and shoot role that kind of Tyrese Maxey was thrown into. But we even saw Tyrese Maxey in the fast break. That pass from James Harden to Tyrese Maxey, that outlet pass on that fast break, man, how great was that? How great was that?
I was really impressed by how like effortless and seamless Maxey looked with that lineup, right? I mean, he really seemed comfortable playing off Harden and Embiid. It didn't seem like it bothered him to be kind of like a third fiddle to the offense. When he got his opportunity, he shot the ball, he attacked the rim. He looks extremely comfortable in that offense. So props to him being a young guy, having different types of responsibilities throughout his career. And I just want to say, because there's going to be a lot of narratives built around Embiid and Harden and the amount of free throw attempts that they get as a duo. First of all, that's part of basketball. If you can't stop them, foul them, right? And that's what happens when those two guys are on the court. But I don't want it to be like diminish their impact on the court, right? Because people use free throws as a way of like justify how they score. These two guys create a ton as a duo. And like you said, Chris, when Joel was rolling, when Joel was getting downhill towards the rim, Harden found them on a multitude of occasions. So you can definitely see the partnership there coming through fruition. I mean, Harden's pick and roll gravity is something we clearly have never seen in Philadelphia for obvious reasons. And Joel is able to play off that, off the catch. Who's that? Is that Maxey?
This is the big three. Look at that green. Oh, wow. That's a lot of green, man. This is the Sixers' big three, and Maxey, Harden, and Joel Embiid tonight. Look at that, man.
Wow, that is absurd. That is absurd. Yeah, that's a great chart. And that's just not – so there's no free throws on there, right? So this is just straight up from the field. So you see how the dynamic is just beyond free throws. And that's scary because, like we said, I mean, these guys get to the line between 20 and 25 times a game. There's just no another way of putting it. So you get to the line 20, 25 times a game, and then you score from literally every part of the court. That's some scary stuff. So I just wanted to call that out because it was more than just free throws tonight, even though first half was mostly free throw driven. I thought in the second half, these two guys really meshed together as a trio, specifically Embiid and Harden. I thought he's really starting to find their rhythm. And props to Harden for coming in and kind of slowly building himself up within the offense.
11 of 20 at the rim, 10 of 15 from three-point range. Oh, baby. All right, let's get to some comments. Guys. Let us know your reaction here. Quentin says, not the big three we expected, but I'll take it. We've been calling for this big three to happen for a long, long time. Never forget that the Sixers lost the trade because of Andre Drummond. Jesus. Oh, man. Isaiah Joe outscored Tobias Harris.
Hey, I don't want to. This is not a Tobias shit on Tobias pod because I thought Tobias played tremendous defense on Karl Anthony Towns tonight. I thought he really manned up defensively in the post. Yes, the offense wasn't there, but he was asked to do a lot tonight, and I thought he delivered defensively.
Box One says the Sixers are unbeatable. I love it, man. Tonight, we're going to overreact. Like, it's just one game. But, guys, let's enjoy this. Ziggy says, love the energy, fellas. Great win tonight. Marky Mark says, Harden was really good, but reason why Maxey was untradeable future star. That duo, man. Like, we talk about the amazing fit between Embiid, getting good looks from James Harden. Yeah. Man, I haven't seen a point guard like that. Just, whip the ball to Maxey open in the corner or in any kind of offensive set, man. It was really impressive, man. on so many levels. So many times Sixers look surprised to get passes that good.
Yeah, well, that's on Embiid. A lot of times I thought he was a little bit because Harden's like a very quick decision, sudden passer, right? He looks one way and boom. And I thought a couple of times Embiid got caught off guard of that, and he got used to it as the game went along. Harden is just a phenomenal passer, man. There's no other way to put it.
Yeah. I go to the free throws, man. Like the first thing you saw the Harden era begin with a free throw. How many free throws did the Sixers have at the half? It was something outrageous. It was unbelievable. Like a lot of teams, a lot of fans are going to hate the Philadelphia 76ers within a very short amount of time. And people are going to hate the way the Sixers play. But the Sixers are going to get every pretty much team in foul trouble from here on in. That's really the nuts and bolts of this Sixers team from Joel and James. Let's go from Philly Sports Alliance. Steven says, tonight I learned Harden hated Steve Nash and Chris Paul. Tyrese fires up Harden like Petrovic did for Derek Coleman. Man, we got old school reference there.
Going back in time. On that one.
I love
it. It does seem like Harden has a pep in his step. I think he really enjoys being here. He's playing with a lot of energy.
Dude, how many step backs did he have? At least 4 or 5. It was wild. It was the one that like completely dropped my jaw. I think it was in the third quarter. He had a step back ISO 3 that was unbelievable. Then I think he hit like one right after that, or in the fourth quarter against Towns, and you saw just Towns' reaction. Like he just was like gushing, like smiling. He had no response at all to that shot. He was like, arms up. I'm out.
Well, the one that he hit over Towns and he got fouled, I don't know if you noticed, before the shot, he looked at Embiid and he said something to Embiid. So right before the shot, he looked at him and said something and hit the shot, got fouled. And that's when Embiid kind of went over there and hugged him. What's up, Justin?
Yo, boys.
In the house, man. What's up?
It took some time, but the computer booted up. It's not dead. I didn't think it was going to happen for a second. There was 14 updates on Discord.
14.
Oh my God.
14. But we made it. We made it. And man, I don't know what we've talked about in the past 14 minutes, but I'm going to bring in some newfound excitement now because this is the first time I'm getting to talk to y'all. And man, was that game good.
That was exciting.
Man, was it good.
Get off your chest, Justin. Get off your chest.
Dude, I don't know what we talked about. I don't know what y'all talked about already, but man, like, dude, James Harden, just magnifique. Like, the backcourt between Maxey and Harden is going to be insane. And like I think last thing I did hear you say was we don't want to overreact. We don't want to overreact. But I'll tell you what, it is damn hard not to react to that kind of game, especially when you see James Harden hitting from 3 the way he was tonight. And oh man.
Those isolation buckets, man, like that's playoff basketball. It's 101 in your face, step back. And that's what it's going to come down in the postseason, man. And he showed tonight he can do that.
It's unbelievable. 89 points from the big 3 tonight, including Tyrese Maxey, man. There's just so many positives here, led by James Harden and his impact. What was he at, like a plus 30?
He was something close to that. Wow. Something close to that. I think he was at a plus 32.
Plus 35 tonight.
Oh, my Lord.
And that also speaks to his defense. It's underrated. Like, he's not a zero defensive. There's a lot of misconception around Harden's defense. He's not a quick guy, but he can defend size. He can rebound. He can do things defensively you're not going to get killed by, like you did with Seth Curry. So it's an upgrade there as well.
And here's the other thing, too, is you don't – and it's – obviously you want to have quickness on defense, especially laterally. But when you're on a team like the Sixers who have so much length, you really don't need to cover that much space that quickly when you have that much help defense around you in length with like the amount of wingspan is what I was looking for there. Like that's on the court with the Sixers is crazy. And you can really see the size difference between Harden and Maxey and like Maxey on that court. Like when Seth Curry and Tyrese Maxey shared the backcourt before, you saw like a very similar sized player. It is obvious how much bigger James Harden is in comparison as a guard. It's just, my God.
Yeah, the thing that I wasn't ready to see tonight, because we've like pretty much just killed ourselves, analyzing the fit between Joel Embiid and James Harden. The Sixers outscored the Timberwolves 23-4 on the fast break today. Yep. Minnesota is a number 5 in pace in the NBA. You look at, their offensive rebounding percentage for Minnesota. They're, again, number 5, 5th best in the NBA in offensive rebounding percentage. The Sixers out-rebounded the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight. Like, James Harden impacts this game. There are so many times in this game where Harden's like in the paint fighting for a rebound. Like you said, Justin, like there's so much to talk about. I'm like almost like speechless from this game, man. That never happens. Like it is.
Yeah.
Justin,
it is.
Can we just pull up one comment here? Pull up Quinn's comment about Doc, because that happened again tonight.
Oh, the all bench stuff. Oh, which one?
I can't pull up the comments right now. I can't.
So that's something that did happen.
I believe
tonight.
Doc did play an all bench lineup tonight. He 100% did.
Yeah,
but I will say
the Sixers got outscored with the all bench lineup 10-3, and we're like, no, Doc, no. I thought he was fine until the end of the third quarter.
Here's the thing, though. By the end of the third quarter, they were up 25 anyway. So who cares?
But again, if that happens in playoffs, man, you gotta you gotta write the check and goodbye right there and then. There's no way you can.
Of course, but I think Doc even said it. I believe I don't remember who he said it to, but I saw a quote come out that he was saying that like now he can stagger minutes between. He can have a star on the court at all times. So I think my hope, and I know this has been Tiago's hope for the past year and a half, is that they stagger lineups. Is that hopefully we see that. We wanted to see that with Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris when like last year. Well, now maybe there'll be some more trust there with James Harden.
All right, so lineup wise in the first quarter, James Harden and Tobias were the first to get subbed out. You had Joel Embiid, George Niang, Danny Green, Furkan Korkmaz, and Tyrese Maxey. I thought that was okay. Obviously, you wish you could do a little bit better than Furkan Korkmaz, but it is what it is. And then you had, the all bench lineup there in the third, which was a complete disaster. But overall, I mean, I'm not going to nitpick too much, Doc. Just like Joel Embiid rolling to the basket. Well, I'm going to give it at least a month before I go all in with that. But let's go to some. Oh, yeah, you want to say something?
No, I was something I wanted to say, and I listen. If you guys pointed it out already, definitely cut me off. The biggest thing I noticed, especially in those Harden ISOs during this game, was just the amount that teams had to just all eyes straight to Harden. Mm-hmm. It's the same way you see with Joel Embiid. And you saw the same thing. You saw at one point it happened when Maxey was able to catch the ball quick, cut right up, and have an easy bucket. Stuff like that, which the Sixers have basically had zero of unless Joel Embiid has the ball, is going to be so key, especially in playoff situations. And the fact that you're going to be able to have that kind of gravity at the top of the key and at the bottom is going to be absolutely insane. And if, like you said, Dobbs, if they can get that pick and roll going on a consistent basis, and you're seeing Joel Embiid roll to the rim, oh my God, is Danny Green going to be feasting? Danny Green is going to be. You're going to see Danny Green and George Niang taking 10 plus corner threes a game if that is going to happen.
I mean,
I thought the ball movement was terrific in this game. I mean, they were whipping the ball, led by James Harden. But I'm interested to see what the stats look like tomorrow. I'm going to be breaking it down like crazy. But it seems like the ball movement was crisp. Guys were getting open looks for the most part. At times they weren't falling, but I'm okay with that. What about you, Tiago?
Yeah, I think this is only scratching the surface what this offense can be. I think what Justin's saying in terms of perimeter gravity, right? So start thinking about what you can do with this offense. Can you use a guy like Tobias to screen and dive? So get him downhill, finishing at the rim, Thybulle cutting. Joel in the pick and pop game a couple times tonight where he gets wide open 3-point shots in rhythm. And Joel is a phenomenal 3-point shooter at this point of his career. So the opportunities to grow the offense and get guys involved at a very high level are endless. Absolutely endless. It's a matter of how creative the Sixers coaching staff wants to get. And if they do decide to get creative, guys are going to be getting wide open looks. So it's exciting because there's going to be a lot more layers to this as we go along for sure.
Yeah, this is my favorite comment of the night so far by Marky Mark. So this is what 5-on-5 basketball looks like. Man, Marky Mark, doesn't it feel amazing to have a real ball handler on this Sixers basketball team that can get others easy looks, man? It is. Like I said, I'm speechless, man. I'm just straight speechless. There was a point in the third quarter where James Harden was going completely off. Like, like the whip pass he had to Maxey in the corner that got him a wide open bucket, and then he had a step back three over Towns. I just couldn't stop smiling. Through like so many parts of this game. When's the last time you say that about the Philadelphia 76ers, man?
It's been a while. Like that. It's been a while. I do want to say just quick something that to Tiago's point that he said before about like getting open looks and everything like that, and there's more to see in this offense, is that Joel Embiid took 18 shots tonight. There's 100% more shots that he could have taken this game, especially in the mid-range. The way I compare it to is how James Harden got open looks for LaMarcus Aldridge when he was with the Nets. You saw so many mid-range shots around the free throw line where Joel passed up on shots to either go up into the lane more or pass out to others. And you saw same with Tyrese Maxey. There was a few looks where Tyrese had open threes that he just decided not to take. And it's just like the amount of just open shots that he creates. And I know everyone was Ben Simmons fanatics when it came to the amount of open threes he created. But yes, Ben Simmons created open threes with driving to the hole and having open guys on the perimeter. And Seth Curry had hit a lot of nice shots and had pulled some gravity around Joel Embiid running around his pick and pops. But when you see James Harden in an ISO pulling that kind of gravity and able to get people open anywhere while also being a threat with the basketball, it's just insane to me. It's crazy. The Sixers have a guard who can do everything. What the fuck?
Has to go to the bathroom or something?
Since when?
Yeah.
My God.
Gene says apparently Embiid just said on post-game TV that it's the most wide open he's been in his whole career.
Dude, actually, now I think about that, how many double teams did he actually get? Because I can't think of that many. I can't think of that many double teams that he got this game.
I mean,
now maybe that's because he didn't have to dominate the ball as much as he usually does. But like, I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how defenses play the Sixers. I mean, that's really the key. Is
it really is.
Double Embiid? Are you gonna? I know Minnesota a lot of times try to flush hedge defense, double defense on Harden the perimeter in the pick and roll. That didn't work. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play both of those guys. The key being, obviously, what we really want to call out today is how well Maxey played off that attention. Mm-hmm. And even Tobias didn't have particularly good offensive game, but I thought made the right decisions. Mm-hmm. So if those two things are consistent throughout the rest of the season, it's a problem because these guys are your third and your fourth options. And they're making good, solid decisions and scoring the basket at a high level. So it's a problem, man. It's a big problem for the NBA.
Dude,
big time.
This team is going to be a lot of fun to watch. And I was a little concerned. I'm not going to lie. At first, I'm like, okay. In the first quarter, I was like, okay, they're scoring the ball a lot, and this is good, but it's going to be like really slow basketball. Like they had 16 free throws in the first quarter. And the first quarter lasted like damn near 45 minutes. I was like, this is going to be a long game. but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like the game was long, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I think that's probably how a lot of Sixers fans are going to feel throughout the season is they're going to be like, okay, this is taking a while, but we're scoring points, we're blowing out teams, and we're winning basketball games. So can you be mad about staying up a little later? Like some nights, no. You're
those
winning
West Coast
basketball.
games, you can, Justin. It finishes at 2
Who was that?
Those West Coast games will finish at like
Oh,
2
okay, yeah. But let's be honest. None of us are staying up that late anyway. We got work. We got work to deal with. So I know I'm not staying up that late to watch those games. But I'll for sure watch the highlights on my lunch break the next day.
All right, Steven says Maxey looked like he worked out with Harden the entire offseason. The Sixers only had 11 turnovers in this game. James Harden had 2 turnovers. Joel Embiid had 2 turnovers. They were good. They were just good. Like they were on target today. And I was like, as excited as I was going into this game, like I was full on preparing, almost not a dud, but this team to start out slow. And speaking of slow, you nailed it, Justin. Like, I did not compute how impactful James Harden would have on Tyrese Maxey getting into that open court and getting into that fast break. The Sixers outscored the Timberwolves tonight 23-4, I think, on fast break points. Man, if you can get there's so many little kind of nuances of James Harden's game. We have a comment here. James says reminded him of Ben Simmons at times. That's really going to open the door for Maxey a lot, and that's kind of we've been talking a lot about that on these post game shows about maybe playing Tyrese Maxey on that second unit more and get him running, get him moving, and we might get the best of both worlds. I don't know, but that was also really really good to see. Yeah, Justin.
Something and just piggybacking off what you're saying, something I'm interested to see is with that James Harden and Tyrese backcourt is to see really what kind of player Maxey turns into, because the kind of player Maxey was all season, I genuinely think is going to be different than the Maxey you're going to see playing alongside James Harden. You're going to see a lot more off ball, and I think I'm very curious to see how he handles that load. I'm genuinely very curious of that because obviously he's been shooting 39% from 3 this season so far. And I think he's going to get even better, wide open. I can't even concentrate with what's going on right now. Quentin Moore, Justin's tech. My tech support is me, Quentin. That's what my tech support is, okay? And my computer is a piece of garbage right now. You know what? Can we put a GoFundMe up and get me a new computer? Because I've been trying to survive on this computer through college. And it is slowly dying on me. Dibs, you guys can
desktop.
You guys can 100% probably understand this because I think I've told you multiple times now that at times where my computer's been taking a shit on me or has taken forever to load up. It happens too often.
100%. How about this?
What I was saying.
Let's go on real quick on Matisse Thybulle tonight. I mean, we talked about who. Does James Harden impact the most with this addition? You look at, Matisse Thybulle's stats tonight. Thybulle had 11 points. He was a plus 20, 11 rebounds, 3 steals, 1 of 3 from 3-point range. Thiago, what was your take on Thybulle and this new look Sixers offense?
I mean, the 11 rebounds is a high number for Matisse. He averages way less than that. I thought he was aggressive attacking the glass. Obviously, that dunk right before the half stood out. I don't think you can put 7 Hardens out on the court. I think what you see from Matisse is what you're going to get from Matisse, man. I mean, attacks the rim, cuts, 3-point shots, probably never going to come around. So, he is a player that is offensive at this point. Defensively, right? So that's really where he's going to make his bread and butter. This is a guy they have to figure out a way to keep him on the court at the end of the games. And if they do that, their defense can be dominant, absolutely dominant, because you have plus defensive players in Embiid, Thybulle. Harden is not a negative defensive player. So figuring out a way to keep him on the court late and have this type of offensive output will be significant for the Sixers side of hope. So I'm not hopeful that his offensive game is going to skyrocket because I think at this point he is what he is, but defensively continues to be a dominant player.
What about you, Justin?
Yeah, I think it's actually going to be a bit of a gain on Thybulle's behalf by a subtraction. I think, or I guess it's addition in the same way. Like the addition of James Harden's game and the way he plays basketball, I think is going to be better for Thybulle's game than it is going to be him being the same in the fact that he's going to have to do much less just in general. Like, and the fact that you don't have just a playmaker that you need to have open, like good shooters on the outside of him, is Harden can get his own offense by himself.
Mm-hmm.
So like you can afford to have a Matisse Thybulle out there almost just because Harden doesn't have to pass to people to be efficient and like good on the offensive end. When you have Ben Simmons on the court, yes, you need to have your small forward or your shooting guard be able to shoot. When you have James Harden on the court, you can afford a little bit of lackluster offense in that wing. So it's going to be interesting, but I think this is going to be I think Harden's addition is going to be a tremendous help to Thybulle, and I think it'll make Doc a little bit more comfortable with keeping him on the floor.
I mean, here's the thing, though. Just one point on that. You can play Thybulle offensively throughout the entire game. You just got to have shooters out on the court. So the fact that he does not play Isaiah Joe next to James Harden is absolutely insane. So you can figure out a ways to have Thybulle in your lineup, but just pairing him with the right people. But I don't know what he's doing. Anyways, yeah, I mean, it's just a better pairing him with the right players.
We have a comment real quick before we lose Justin. Oh, no, he's back. He's back. You should have seen my face every single time. That was the most wide open I've ever been in my career. I used to have to work for everything. I never had this. Nothing close to it. This is
100% like a toxic ex being like, "Hey, I'm way better without you." It's 100% like that. And here's the thing. I cannot wait to see Ben Simmons' first game with the Nets now. Like I can't wait to see that stat line, just to see because the amount of just the amount of importance that Harden is going to have for the Sixers in comparison to what Ben Simmons is likely at least going to do this season with the Nets. Like, yeah, he'll be important, but his role is significantly smaller for the Nets than James Harden is for the Sixers.
Yeah. But I would make an argument that his role could be significant for Brooklyn.
Oh, I'm not saying significant in importance of role, yes, but in size of role, I'm saying it goes to Harden.
I see the Sixers and Nets playing an Eastern Conference Final.
Oh, please.
I would love
it.
And I think it's going to be a very tough out on both sides.
100%.
I think Ben Simmons is going to play a tremendous role in that, as will Harden. So 100%. It's going to be like the most insane 7-game series we'll ever watch. So
here's what I'm very excited to see, though. I'm excited to see them put Ben Simmons on James Harden and them Ben Simmons try to, defend a pick and roll between Joel Embiid and James Harden. Because I cannot tell you how many times in the playoffs you guys have seen this too. We literally did post-game shows for the whole playoffs last season. How many times, especially in that Hawks series, did you see Ben Simmons get switched off of a pick and then them just get torn up on defense because Seth Curry was there? Guess what? The Nets have Seth Curry. The Nets also have Joe Harris. Like they have guys that cannot defend nearly that well. And I'm not saying obviously the Sixers are in the same boat. They got Kevin Durant, they got Kyrie Irving, and they're gonna be switching as well. But I'll tell you what, I will trust Tyrese Maxey and James Harden and Danny Green and Matisse Thybulle and guys like that a lot more to play defense than I'm gonna trust Seth Curry. And
Brooklyn,
I know.
Kevin Durant is the best player on the court, man.
I'm hyped up. I'm hyped up right now. Catch me a little bit later, and I'll be thinking a little bit more logically on this. But the fact that I just watched that, I'm hyped up. All right, it's late.
Absolutely, you're good, Justin. You're good. Let's roll into player of the game. Tiago, who is your player of the game?
I mean, there's a lot to pick from, man. I mean, everybody. So I gotta go with my man Paul Millsap.
You're such an ass. You're such an ass, Tiago.
Thought he was phenomenal tonight. Both ends of the court. I couldn't get enough of Paul Millsap. I was like, give me more Paul Millsap tonight.
Oh yeah.
I'll go with Max. I mean, you guys can take the obvious ones. I thought that Maxey was phenomenal, man. Like, just the way how comfortable he looked playing alongside Harden. It's like those guys are playing their entire lives together.
Period.
He has figures out a way to like mesh into whatever role is given to him as a point guard, as a shooting guard. It's extremely impressive, man. The kid's like 20, 21 years old. I mean, if he's going to be this good of a player alongside those two, man, it's going to be something a lot of fun to watch. I was extremely impressed by him.
Dude, I completely agree. You saw the same thing with Maxey last year when he entered the starting lineup at times. Like he just fills into whatever role he needs. It's impressive as hell.
Yeah.
My player of the game, Willie Cauley-Stein. No, I'm kidding. Joel Embiid. I'm gonna go Joel. I'm gonna go Joel Embiid. We're gonna just lay it up to Dibes. We're gonna lay it up for him. But Joel Embiid, man, 34 points, 10 rebounds, 10 of 18 from the field. I don't remember the last time Embiid only took 18 shots. I'll be honest, like I feel like he's been taking at least 20 some per game recently. 3 for 5 from behind the arc as well. Man was shooting tonight, and of course he got to the line 10 plus times. So you gotta love that. Joel Embiid, man, is he gonna look good next to James Harden? My God. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean I give a little credit to Doc Rivers, maybe sitting down with Tobias Harris during this All-Star break and kind of getting him in a different kind of mindset. Yeah. Again, like we started off this show, Joel Embiid, 18 field goal attempts. James Harden had 12 field goal attempts. Tyrese Maxey, 16 field goal attempts. Tobias Harris only had 9 field goal attempts. Now, I think this is a better role for him, for this team, moving forward. And I give Doc credit for that. And obviously, James Harden is player of the game here. The way he gets others involved, mostly Joel Embiid, the way he got Tyrese Maxey the ball in space and just like a lightning rod to the basket was sensational. The step back threes, the gravity he has on offense, the way he gets and penetrates. That, like, we gushed over Joel Embiid and James Harden's match and how good that could potentially look. Man, I'm starting to kind of lean towards that Tyrese Maxey, James Harden duo in the backcourt, man. What I'm mostly excited about, Tyrese Maxey didn't take a backseat to the James Harden trade whatsoever. Again, he was 12 of 16, I believe, from the field here. Tyrese Maxey is just that guy. He's that guy. He's not afraid to I want the ball. I'm not going to say the other name. He's not afraid to just rise to the occasion every single time, like we have seen him in his Sixers career. And I'm just really happy, whether that was Doc talking to Tobias or what. But clearly, Maxey's going to have a major role, not only alongside Joel Embiid, but James Harden here. This is the real Sixers big three shining tonight. And this was just an entertaining game from start to finish. Tiago, how would you grade tonight's performance?
Oh, A across the board. Minnesota, they're not a particularly great team, but they have a very good defense. And the Sixers dismantle their defense.
Where are they defensively ranked right now?
I think they're top 10. I think maybe 10 or 11. Yeah, no, their defense is legit. They got a lot of length. They're not a bad defense. They're a very good defense.
Is it because of Patrick Beverley? Yeah. Is it because of Patrick Beverley?
Yeah, Beverly's a good player. Vanderbilt's a good player. Cat's playing better defense. They're good, man. And the Sixers dismantle them. I mean, absolutely dismantle them. So.
I'm pretty sure I definitely tweeted out that I'm trying not to get myself too excited because the Sixers are playing the Timberwolves right now. I genuinely did not realize that should just show right there that I feel like I'm a pretty educated basketball fan, but I didn't know that the Timberwolves had that highly ranked of his defense this year, and the fact that the Sixers made them look like that.
130 points, dude.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, 130 points. That's no joke.
Yeah, the way they did it. I've sat here on these shows nearly every game just complaining about the way this Sixers offense looks, man. It has not been pretty. The way they played tonight was awesome. The way they generated open shots with the ball movement, man, considering this is the first game with James Harden from the trade. I'm going to say it. Doc deserves whatever he was able to kind of motivate these guys during the All-Star break, man. They look great. I think they had 3 turnovers in the first half. They ended the game with 11. This is a great game. I give this an A+, man. There's just so many positives. Like, I'm going to be making highlight reels of this game. I have like probably about 8 videos to make from this game. I'm going to be up late. Sorry. But Justin, how would you grade tonight's performance?
There's not any other way. You know what? I'm going to give it an A just because Tobias Harris didn't make a lot of open threes.
I thought you were going to say the all-bench lineup for a second. I thought you were going to say.
No. That's Tiago's job. That's Tiago's job. That's not my job.
I'm going to have an open mind to Doc Rivers. With
nice. But I will say on Dives, what you said about you don't know what Doc Rivers did this like during the All-Star break to get this offense look lively. I don't think it was Doc Rivers that did it. I think it was Daryl Morey bringing in a freaking Hall of Fame top 75 NBA player that did it. That's what did it. Yeah. This team already had like good chemistry, at least from what comes out of the locker room and from what everyone says. The fact that you add that kind of asset to your team and you basically replace Seth Curry and you replace Andre Drummond with Willie Cauley-Stein and Paul Millsap, like that's all you're missing out of this team. Ben Simmons didn't play a lick of basketball for you this year, and you're already this good. Like, how could you not feel good and not feel alive going into the back half of the season when you bring in a guy like that? Like, man.
Yeah, you look at kind of like the meat and potatoes of the Sixers. Like when Joel Embiid's got into the line, like the odds are they almost never lose, you know. And you look at this addition with James Harden. The Sixers had 16 free throw attempts in the first quarter. They were 8th best in the league at 22.1 per game. Last question: will the Sixers lead the league in free throw attempts per game by season's end in the NBA? What's your take?
Where are they right now? They're 8th. They're 8th?
I'm not going to lead them, but they're going to shatter the second half. They're going to be
they better be at least in the top 3. If they're not, I would be utterly shocked. Yeah. I would be completely shocked.
Yeah. All right. Let's wrap it up. I'll throw it to you, Justin. Where can we find you, man? What do you got going on?
You can find me on Twitter. That's really all I've had going on a lot lately. Go follow me on Twitter. Here's a new update. Haywood Highsmith just signed his second 10-day contract with the Miami Heat. So congratulations to him. Gotten to know Haywood a lot over the last year over the last season, I should say, with him in the Blue Coats. He's a really cool dude. So congratulations to him, and happy for the dude. Real happy for him. Hopefully he sticks in Miami. He was up there before. He was up there for past 10 days. So you just got another one. So let's hope good things for Haywood. But yeah, go follow me on Twitter.
What about you, Tiago?
Yeah, man. Just finished an article on how Tobias Harris can play off James Harden. Talked about him making quicker decisions off the catch. Talked about him running in transition. All the things that we saw tonight. So make sure to check that out.
Yeah, I love this comment. Why don't we pick up Haywood Highsmith? He would look pretty good in the Sixers uni right now.
You already grabbed Charlie Brown Jr. He's hey. I'm not gonna say anything right now. I'll say it off air.
Yeah. All right. Follow my guys here at Tiago PHL. Thanks for updating your Twitter handle, Tiago. Well done,
man. Right before the start.
I know, right before
the
season, really.
What'd you update?
Twitter.
It used to be at T Scabia. Now is at Tiago PHL.
Trying to keep the stalkers away.
I mean, listen. Am I screwed then? Am I screwed? Technically, my whole name's out there too. So.
Well, the Celtics fans are surely coming out for Tiago tonight. It's coming. It's coming.
Bill Simmons was losing his collective shit in Twitter. I mean, it's like you can clearly tell he's bothered by this. So.
Oh my god!
All right. Again, these post-game shows are so much fun. Make sure you subscribe here to the Painted Lines YouTube channel. Just a ton of fun. So much to talk about moving forward. We'll be here with you guys every single game, and it's going to be a wild ride. We've been doing a lot of NFL draft content lately. If you want top 10 rankings on all the top NFL draft prospects, they are on the channel. We're also doing podcasts on top 5 guys with my guys Shane and Mark of Chalk Talk. A lot of great draft content. The biggest Eagles draft in years, for sure. So thank you, everyone, for watching. The comments were unbelievable tonight. Thank you for all the comments. Be sure to subscribe like Justin is.
Did I spell that right? Is that spelled right?
You did. You
okay,
did
cool.
Well, man. You did it well.
I was scared.
Yeah. So, guys, thank you for watching. We'll be back on Sunday for post game live. For Tiago, for Justin, for James Harden, for Joel Embiid, for Tyrese Maxey, the big 3. Stay awesome, everybody.